Here's the other thing I would say, and we've spoken about this with NFL teams. Arsenal nailed their window to win.
Because the problem is I'm dealing with two United fans. You are not neutral at all. Matlab, you're not
No, but
willing to give
I'm
them any credit
as
whatsoever.
as the
Doc is a
host,
bit more
I'm
fair,
much
but
more.
Siddiqui
I
Saab
have
is
to be
being
much more.
outrageous.
I don't think Mbumo
No.
and Sesko and Cunha are top level Champions League level
No,
players.
I
We'll
think
see.
Sesko is. I have a lot of faith in Sesko because I just
Tesco is top class, man.
Welcome to the Dugout. And today's episode, we're going to review the Premier League season, which ended in all intents and purposes yesterday with Arsenal clinching their 14th uh, top division title in England and their fourth Premier League title after Manchester City were held to a 1-1 draw at Bournemouth.
Team in the
However,
in the in the in the
correct.
land one, so I think they
I would
deserve.
say 22 years later after Wenger won three, obviously Arteta now climbs the mountaintop in his sixth, seventh year. And they were, for all intents and purposes, the most consistent team this year. At the end of the day, you have to say they were deserved champions. This was a solid team. Maybe didn't have superstars, but between Declan Rice, Viktor Gyokeres, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel Saliba, Raya. They had a solid spine to the team. Yeah, it wasn't pretty at times, but the aim of the game is to win and score one more goal than the opposition, and they did that.
yeah. But
And it wasn't a flash of the pan. They've been coming second in the league for the last two, 3 seasons. So it was a gradual build up, as the Arsenal fans like to say, trust the process. And they did trust the process. They built up a magnificent squad. They have a lot of depth and quality in all positions. They made that big dip for Gyökeres in the offseason. Did that pay off? Well, if they got the title, so of course they'll say it was worth it. Maybe not quite the price tag that they dished out to a Sporting, but in the end, they've got the trophy, and you have to say a lot of it is due to Arne Slot's massive bottle job of 350,
wow.
400 million pounds spent in the off season. You have, because of your failure to build on your league title success last season, Guardiola is on his way out now as well. Xabi Alonso coming in at Chelsea, so nobody knows which way that is going to go. Carrick taking over at United full time. Nobody's really sure which way that is going to go. So I think honestly, there is a dynasty on the cards in North London, and add to that, Spurs might get relegated. So it's good times for the red half of North London.
I am not listening to this dynasty talk. I'm sorry. They are not. They are, in my opinion, they are with Leicester City the worst team to ever win the Premier League. Like they, I'm not
I
saying they're
mean,
I'm not saying
what
they're a
about this
bad
is
team. I'm not
this
saying
is
they're a bad
United
team.
fan hyperbole, man. क्या बातें कर रहे हो? Come
I'm
on,
not. It's
man.
not hyperbole.
I mean, they were a solid team, but here's the other thing I would say, and we've spoken about this with NFL teams. Arsenal nailed their window to win. You look at the
They're in the
Buffalo
Champions
Bills, for
League
example.
final. How are you going to
Correct.
dispute that they won the league,
You,
man?
and they took advantage of this window to win. You look at the Buffalo Bills, for example. We say that their window's probably closed. They wasted Josh Allen. You look at the Packers. They wasted the years of Aaron Rodgers, previously Brett Favre. It's hard to climb the mountaintop. Arsenal managed to at least take advantage of the window. Saka has probably peaked. Odegaard almost certainly has peaked. Um, they caught Declan Rice right at the right time in his peak of his career. Gyökeres, you
He was the
mentioned,
most in-demand player in the league that season, so they
correct.
got him. So
They
kudos,
got him at the right time. Gyökeres, you could say he had a maybe not a sterling season, but 20 goals. They bought Raya at the right time. That was an
Eze
uh,
was such a great signing.
underrated signing. Eze as well. This was the best team at the end, and they deserve. Let's come to some of the other teams. City, of course, not a vintage City team, and everyone talks about, well, Pep only announced this week that he was leaving. I would always say that if the announcement comes this week, everyone else knows for a while that the boss is no longer going to be here.
The,
We saw this with Liverpool in the year that Klopp left when he announced really early on that he was leaving and the performances dropped off. That's always going to happen when you know that your final boss
Mm.
is going to leave. And City, this was not a vintage City. Clearly, it was a rebuild, but they didn't have that edge to them. That showed in the Everton game and the Bournemouth game because after they beat Arsenal at home, you would have expected a normal City team to win. Um, but they didn't. It'll be interesting to see what Maresca does. Your thoughts on Maresca and City moving forward?
First and foremost, I do want to mention that the last 2 seasons of this dominant Pep City team, he has lost to Arne Slot and this Arsenal team. That's all I'm going to say. Um, Secondly,
How are you going to slate Slot? What have you won in the last decade that you're going to slate Slot?
I can slate Slot as much as
We will come to Manchester
we
United
will come
next.
to
Let's
we will
wrap up
come
with City.
Because
we
the problem is I'm dealing with two United fans. You are not neutral at all. Matlab, you're not
No, but
willing to
I
give
am
them any credit whatsoever.
as the
Talk is a
host,
bit
I
more
am
fair,
much
but
more.
Siddiqui
I
Saab
have
is
to be
being
much more.
outrageous.
no,
He's
no, okay.
clickbaiting big time.
Uh, no, but like in the sense, okay,
And
I
you're saying like they came from 12th and won the league, man. They were second every season for
no,
the
no,
last
no.
2 years.
I'm not saying. I'm saying Arsenal are a good team. They deserve to win the league. But at the same time, if you put them against, if you put them against any title-winning team that I have seen in the Premier League in the last 20 to 25 years, okay, they are going to be the worst team on paper and the worst
Bro,
team
you used to
Yeah,
win
but
titles with
style of play.
Valencia and
I'm
Shinji
a
Kagawa. And come on, man.
here's what I would
This is
say
a
to that.
very good team from 1
And
to
we
25. They
no,
have a
no.
lot
we
of quality.
They're a very, very pragmatic,
And
decent
I don't
team.
think there is a single flop signing. Even Hincapie was excellent. Calafiori is pretty
Uh,
good. And Gyokeres, like you mentioned,
I
20
will say
goals. Like
this,
they
and
hit on every player this season.
I will
no,
say this, and when when the Patriots made the Super Bowl, we said they didn't play anyone. You play who you play, and that's it. Arsenal is not responsible for the quality of the league around them. They're
haha.
responsible for maximizing the number of points over
And
38
plus,
games.
the problem is their own playing style is so awful to watch for
Correct.
the
So
most
fine.
part.
All right, let's come
But
to Manchester United. To me, once they decided to keep Ruben Amorim after they lost to Spurs in Bilbao, it was going to be a wasted season. It ended up being a wasted season. Yes, Michael Carrick came in as an interim. He did a fantastic job. I think he only lost 2 games out of his final 16, came
are
third.
we all in on Carrick?
We're not
Yeah.
all in on Carrick. I don't like the process that they used for Carrick. It'll be very interesting to see in the summer what
What do you
happens.
mean by the process?
The process to hire him. I don't
Mm.
think they followed the process. I think they just he was the right guy and they just carried on. They didn't really interview anyone else. It'll be interesting to see how Carrick it manages a squad whereby you have to play more than 1 game a week. You actually
Hmm,
have injuries after World
fair
Cup. You
point.
have to play a style of play that is more than pragmatic. You cannot
Yeah.
just, do the same old 4-2-3-1. Let's see what happens to Carrick. Liverpool were interesting
Can we
because
talk about
I
United
don't
for
know.
2 seconds? Can I talk about United for two
Go
seconds?
ahead.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes,
Go
Yes,
ahead.
please.
yes, yes.
Please talk
Sorry,
about
sorry.
United.
Okay.
As long as it's coherent.
It is coherent. I'm not being nuts. I do believe that like this I d- most of our signings this year were good. Like I do think uh, like
There's a
uh,
lot of strength in that squad, man.
there's a
It's a
lot
very
of
strong team.
it's a
It's a
very
top-heavy squad, though. You
very
look
top
at
very,
you look at the
Yeah.
bench, and there's nothing there at the
no, no,
bench.
no. We need severe reinforcements in the
And
midfield
and I
who
think they'll get exposed in the Champions League.
yeah,
I don't think Mbumo
no.
and Sesko and Cunha are top level Premier Champions League level
No,
players. We'll see.
I think Sesko is I have a lot of faith in Sesko because
Tesco is top class, man. He's
I
too
think
good.
that Sesko is a top class striker. He just has all the attributes.
He's got to show it in the Champions League,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
He's done it in the
yeah,
Champions League and when he was playing in Germany.
yeah. So
he did it with Germany. Correct. Let's see
yeah,
how he does with
no, but
But
United.
like you mentioned, Doc, it's very top heavy. You're right.
I do agree with you with Mbemo and Cunha to a certain extent, and Mbemo certainly. But the problem I have right now is you have a giant hole in midfield with
Yeah, you
Casemiro.
have a
Okay,
donut,
okay, you're gonna
and
sign someone,
not
obviously.
You
we'll
need
Probably
sign someone, but the
Tonali or
question is
Wharton are
who.
probably coming
I
in.
mean, remember you had a worldy season from Casemiro and Bruno this year. Bruno, especially with
yeah.
20 assists. Menu basically didn't play the first half of the season, and then second half he
Yeah,
was fully
you
fresh, had a
extended him as
fantastic
well,
season.
so he's back.
I think you have issues in defense where you basically don't have any central defenders that you can count on staying healthy. De Ligt has basically just had back surgery. He's out till at least
You
Christmas, and
have
once
to
you've had
sell
back surgery.
Linka. You have to sell Linka. That's what I stand.
Licha Martinez
Yes,
is a
How are you gonna
liability
sell him, man?
now.
He's a
He
cornerstone
is,
player
but
of the
he,
team.
he can't stay healthy.
yeah.
Maguire is now in his 30s. Luke Shaw just played 37, 38 games, but who knows what happens with Luke Shaw on the other
I
side.
really like
Dalot
that
on the
Leeds center back, Rodon, I think his name is.
Yep,
He's
Yeah.
very
hold
good,
on.
man. He's really good.
In
Let's
We
see
my
what
have
happens. All right,
Batsy.
can we come to Liverpool and Arne Slot?
yes,
The big
yes.
question.
Yeah, let's all pile on them. I
No, it's
agree.
not about piling. Here's the question. Clearly, there was issues in the background with Salah. Should they keep Arne Slot? And or do we assume that this was because he basically fell out with their superstar player Salah and things will get better next year after a chaotic transfer window where Isaac is coming in the last day of the week. Remember, they won't have Ekatike till much later in the season because, ruptured ACL is not an easy injury to come back from.
It's not an ACL, it's an Achilles tear. It's even
Sorry,
worse.
Achilles
That's
tear.
even worse.
Yes, even
That's even
worse.
worse.
Yes, you're right. It's an Achilles injury.
Um, one thing I do, so I support another FSG owned sports franchise in the Boston Red Sox. So I have a special hatred for this for these owners. Okay, not just because they're Liverpool owners, but they also are ruining
Just a
are.
reminder that before FSG came, the Red Sox hadn't won in over 100 years.
I'm
Just
not
putting it out there.
I'm not denying
And
that,
now you
but
have four.
yeah,
And
we have
yes, and I'm a Yankees fan saying this, but go ahead, FSG
yeah.
hatred.
No, but I'm just saying in the last 6 years they have been penny pinching for the max at the Red Sox. Right, and a lot of that has been going to Liverpool as well. Like a lot of the money they used to spend on the Red Sox is now going to Liverpool, right? Because we got rid of Rafael Devers a week later. Florentino Witz
Can
gets
you stick to the topic?
Okay,
Nobody
yes,
cares about MLB.
yes, sorry. Coming to the point. I think they're not. I don't think FSG are good owners. I I think they'll keep Slot. I think Slot they shouldn't keep Slot. I think that he should have been sacked mid-season. Okay,
For
because
whom?
huh?
Now
I would
Xabi
have,
Alonso's gone.
yeah, I would have gotten Xabi Alonso as soon as Madrid sacked him. Like I would have,
How is that a good? How is that a good
But
proving
you
point?
you
Oh, you got
can't you
fired by
can't
Madrid.
sack a
Come join Liverpool.
manager a few months after he won the league at a canter, Mustafa. It doesn't work that
no, but
way.
like
I mean,
I
he's
was
earned
unsure. I was
credit in the bank.
I understand that, but I was
I mean, you
unsure about.
forgot they had a devastating loss
The
of
question is
Jota.
he a good manager? That's point blank the question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Diego Jota's tragic death affected this club. We knew it was going
Yeah.
to be a year in transition. Um, anyway, let's see what Liverpool does. Villa, Unai Emery, um, a bit of a surprise season, I would say. He seems to maximize the talent. Let's see what they do in the Europa League final. Morgan Rogers supposedly is on his way out. I think they need strengthening in
Where's he gonna
attack.
go?
I don't know, but he wants to potentially leave. I don't think United, for example, they've been linked to him, but I don't think we have a position for him. Ollie
I don't
Watkins is
understand
getting
that guy.
old.
He's got good G plus A, but when I watch him, he doesn't really
Yeah, he
catch my
doesn't.
eye. He's fine.
I completely agree
He's
with
a
you.
jag. He's just a dude. I mean, like
He's just a dude. And Villa has this history of creating players who then don't do anything. Jack Grealish being one of those. Can we come to the
wow.
bottom of the table?
yeah,
West Ham and Spurs.
That is so
What's happened
sad,
there?
man. To see the
yeah.
It
Hammers going down,
is.
it's really sad, man.
They have good players as well. Mateus
They're
Fernandes,
amazing
Jared
players.
Bowen, and Spurs have good players too. It's crazy how that one of these two teams is going to not be
I
in the
think
Premier
Romero
League.
is probably going to be snapped up by United or something like that. Makes sense.
I
I
want
don't know
Matthias
if
Fernandes.
Romero is United.
I think I
Van
want.
der Ven is going to be a
Yeah,
massive signing for somebody.
I want West Ham to go down so I can get Matthias Fernandes on the cheap. That's what I want.
Why? I've never seen what that guy does. I've seen a lot of West Ham games. Yes, man.
I know. I
He's
like.
another jag.
No,
But to
I
be
like.
honest, even Semenyo feels like a jag, but he has the numbers.
Yeah,
What about that kid Krupi, man? He's ridiculous. 13 goals.
Rupi was fantastic. You see the goal he scored
Unbelievable.
yesterday?
What a goal. What a
Fantastic
beauty.
goal.
Henri-esque. Too good.
So let's come to Bournemouth. Iraola is obviously leaving them. He's going to be
Mm.
hot property somewhere. Um, I'm a little surprised United didn't at least formally interview him. I know it's a big jump to go from Bournemouth to United. We've seen this with David Moyes when he moved to Everton, from Everton to United. Obviously, we saw it with Ruben Amorim when he moved from um, Sporting to United. But I'm surprised, and that's what I was talking about the process. They never really
Yeah.
looked into anyone else. Carrick
They're
was
always
just in
they're always looking for an establishment guy. And that's the thing with
Yeah,
United.
that's a
Yeah.
They want to be
that's
comfortable with someone.
a
And
PR
that's the
savvy club.
that's the thing with every massive club. They want an establishment guy who would
Yeah, they
stick
just
to,
want to establish.
at
and they all.
Bayern, at Real, at Juve, it's all the same.
They also want they want someone they can boss around as well, right? They've
That's what I'm
always,
saying.
yeah,
Establishment guy. Yeah.
yeah.
All right,
Uh,
last question in the Premier League before we move on to other topics. Bruno, deserved player of the season?
yes.
No way.
Oh,
I would
would you
have given
give
it to Rice.
to Declan Rice?
No.
Some
Mustafa, no,
Arsenal guy at
I
least.
no point,
if I'm giving
no
it to
point
any,
asking you.
if I'm giving it to any Arsenal player, I'm giving it to Gabriel.
Yeah, give it to Gabriel, man.
I
Somebody
would,
like that.
yeah, I would give it to, because legitimately nothing, like, for me, the only thing world class about, they're a very good team. They're one of the best teams in the world. Okay, I am prefacing this, but I'm saying the singular thing that they are great at, right? They are the best in the world at is defending, and it's because of that center back pairing.
And set pieces. Gabriel scored a ton of goals in
That
set
Yeah,
pieces.
Shithousery was
Yeah.
on another
yeah,
level
yeah.
on
So I,
the set pieces.
so I
I
would,
do think I do think it's going to be a wide open season next year because Chelsea. We haven't mentioned
Is it though?
Chelsea, but
I don't
obviously
know. I think this
Xabi
might be a
Alonso.
dynasty in the making.
You think so? We'll see. Let's
Because
see.
everybody's in the first season. Maresca, Xabi
True.
Alonso, Slot,
It'll be
like so many key players missing.
it'll be an interesting summer window to see.
yeah.
So
I think it's a United Arsenal all over again. It's 2002 all over again, maybe.
we'll
Yeah,
see. All right, gents. Thank you.